let's compare GTX technique. This is the GTX technique card, which is the Thermafil also, but prepared with the GTX files. And we follow this according to manufacturer's instructions. This is the EndoSequence from Brasler, and clearly here says that if you prepare with a 25 file, you have to obturate with a 2506 to work in it. It has, because they're claiming that it's laser match obturation. This is the tooth, buccolingual views. These are the photos, x-rays with a 20-degree angulation, working length establishment, and then last instruments at working length, size verifier, and then gutta percha points. And here is the tooth when it has been finished. This is an x-ray. This is not the micro CT. Look at it. Forget about the distal for a second. Okay? Look at the mesials. One has been obturated with the GTX, prepared with GTX 3004, and obturated with the Thermafil, which it is the GTX 04 carrier. And the other one was with single cone and the file 3004 with gutta percha 3004. It looks great. Nobody can tell me that those mesial canals on this x-ray does not look good. Let me show you now this with the micro CT. And we are going from buccal to lingual. We are going from buccal to lingual. These are the sections. This is the GTX, and look at the adaptation of the gutta percha point. 0 voids. There are no voids whatsoever. No voids whatsoever. Very good homogeneity. It's a constant field all the way to the terminus. We are going from buccal to lingual. Okay, and look what is happening here in this isthmus. How the gutta percha and cement it's flowing. Now we're going from buccal to lingual, and we use the GTX obturator, which is the Thermafil. It has a plastic core, and we can see here the sections. And now, my dear friends, here comes the EndoSequence with the single cone technique. You can see on the single cone, and then all the voids. This canal is full of voids, full of voids. And you're going to say, well, Sergio, look at the voids that are on the coronal portion. This is the buccal lingual. Let me show you the coronal apical progression. This is where the section is. Here you're going to see the single cone technique. Okay, and here you see the core obturator. On the single cone, look at all the voids. This is the single cone, the cement, and all the voids, and 0 voids right here. 0 voids on the core obturator material, all the way to the apex. Now you're going to see a middle third canal appearing right here. That's another study that we did, but that's for a different day to talk about root canal cleaning and shaping. Now, that was the coronal apical progression. Let me show you very briefly, some still photos. Here you see on the still photos, all the voids on the coronal portion on the active GP single cone technique, and no voids on the GTX obturator, which is the Thermafil. If we take the x-ray from left to right, which is the buccolingual view, we are not able to see that on the active GP gutta percha, but look at all the voids. Now, we are going a little lower in that particular canal, and you can see here it's full of voids. That was 1 millimeter apical to that, and there is 0 voids on the right. As you can see, in the center we see the plastic, then we see the gutta percha, we see that halo, which is the cement, and how the cement is flowing into that fin. Here again, you have the active GP. We are going down millimeters, which is full of voids. That's the single cone. And look, on the obturator, it's no voids whatsoever. Now, we are going now, here will be the, the junction between middle and coronal. And look at the single cone, full of voids, no voids. Look at the core obturators, no voids there. And how the material is flowing from that canal. It's trying to fill that gap. And it's because the hydraulic forces of this type of obturation. Once again, let's go a little farther and fast on this. They are full of voids all the way until you get to the working end. Look at this giant void. And this is the junction between the apical and middle part of the canal, that big void. And then once you get into the apical area, in this technique, single cone, we were not able to see voids, but that was only on the apical area, 2 millimeters from working end. and this is the middle canal, as you can see in this section, but there were no voids at working it, or 3 millimeters from working it. And here you have, again, at the very apical area with no voids. And this is in a coronal apical progression. Let me show you on the mesial-distal progression. It is clearly here. On the right, you can see the GTX series, which is the Thermafil, zero voids, and how the material is trying to fill that isthmus. And on the left, we have the active GP, which is full of voids that cannot, but we do not see this on a X-ray. So, in conclusion of these two techniques, okay, far better was the core obturator technique, obturation technique, rather than the single cone. You see the tooth rotating, and suddenly you're going to see in cyan color all the voids that they were inside that canal with the single cone, and there is zero voids, whereas the core obturator technique. So by far, core obturation here shows clearly that it's a far better technique than single cone.